I'm live on my point.
15 seconds.
Yeah, I'm good.
You ready? Okay.
This meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. This meeting of Monday, April 7th, 2025, was published in the Courier News and Star Ledger, placed on the bulletin board at Borough, placed at the Borough's website and bulletin board at Borough Hall. A copy of this notice is available to the public, and a copy of the statement shall be included in the minutes of the meeting. Mayor Brian Gallagher.
Here.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Here.
Andrew Conti,
Here.
Glenn Denny,
Here.
Randy Pitts,
Here.
Gina Stravic,
Here.
Roger Vroom.
Here.
All right, please stand for the salute to the flag, and please remain standing afterwards for a moment. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if I could ask for a moment of silence for one of our longtime firefighters who recently passed. His name was Charlie Lane. Charlie was a veteran, an Army veteran. He joined the Somerville Fire Department in 1961, a long time ago, and dedicated a big part of his life to Somerville and the safety of our citizens. Rich O'Neill gave me a great, interesting fact. The old West End Hose Company, which is now the Fire Museum, Charlie Lane was the chief, and as Rich says, one day they were in that building operating out of the old West End Hose Company. And then when the new West End Hose was built on West High Street, he then became the chief over it there. So he left one building and went over to the other. So I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for Mr. Lane. Thank you. Okay, motion for approval of the minutes of March 17.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Abstain.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, departmental reports and notices are as listed with a couple of notes. Primary election day is on June 10th, 2025. And then also a polling location change. So Vanderveer School is no longer a polling location, and the replacement location is the Somerville Emergency Services Facility at 85 North Gaston Ave. So we'll continue to make those announcements just so that people become aware and get used to that change as well. Next up, I do have a proclamation. The governor recently established April 9th as Paul Robeson Day, and I have a proclamation that I'm going to reach out to the Ubuntu Cultural Pavilion to give to them. I think it's good and appropriate, as Paul Robeson is his formative years are in Somerville, and there's a long history there, and St. Thomas Church over on Davenport Street is where his father was the pastor. So he obviously spent many years there, also in our schools, and became a force in terms of activism, acting, scholar, sports, athletics, and just an all-around advocate for people. So we have a proclamation here, which we will get to the Ubuntu Cultural Pavilion. And in addition, on the tail of that, as soon as we get through our affordable housing, I had made mention at the turn of the year that we'd be establishing a committee to pick up the work that was begun on a monument for the memory of Paul Robeson here in Somerville. And I've asked Randy to help me spearhead that. So Randy's agreed to do that as well. So we'll be kicking that up in the next few weeks or so. All right. Thank you. Committee reports. Andrew.
Met with the Historic Advisory Committee. They are releasing a map of all the historical plaques in town, so it's going to be nice for people to go around and be able to virtually see where they are and then visit them physically. I always like when people can do that. The other option, what we talked about was a lot of the historical character and the things that are coming up on zoning board. How do we deal with maintaining historical character? Luckily, there was nothing really much to go on there. And then the master plan, the section of the master plan on the Historic Advisory Committee is really intent on making sure their voices are heard during that process. So when we get into it, please, let us give you an opportunity to give us our thoughts on those sections of the master plan.
Yep, already spoke with Marge about that a little while ago.
Good, 'cause she's been on to me.
She gave me her the edits that they had begun, I think, about 2 years ago.
Right.
And absolutely, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Gina.
So the Board of Health met on March 19th. The minutes, I believe, will be posted soon on the website, but the key points of conversation included the homelessness population and Code Blue situation, best practices for the Board of Health as they re-examine their purpose and functions, and they also reviewed all of the Somerset County health reports and violations. They additionally have, I think, a spot on the board open, and we do have a potential candidate to provide to council. So that's Board of Health, and then representing the Somerville Rescue Squad, this is a chance. This is a chance to become an EMT, to volunteer with good purpose in our community. There are courses for the summer, both day and evening courses. Much to my surprise, also, if I don't know what the minimum age is, but you are eligible if you're under 18 with a parent, and there's an orientation May 7th. So do reach out to the squad president or chief, and they can provide that information. And all that can be found also on the website. There's a link to the rescue squad on the Borough site. So again, volunteers are needed. It's truly purposeful experiences, and although it's an intensive course, extremely practical. So we encourage people of interest to sign up.
Awesome. All right, great. Thanks. Glenn.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. For the fire department, they've been very busy in the month of March. They responded to 50 calls, including 5 fires and 6 hazmat calls. They've been cross-training drivers on all the different apparatus. I know, Roger, you've been enjoying some of that too. That's been great, so that all the drivers will be able to operate any of the apparatus there, as we're all in the one building now. Also, as regards to that, they're working on adapting their procedures and making sure that everything's working smoothly at the ESF, and they are eagerly awaiting the new engine 1. It's getting outfitted, and training on it should begin soon. So that's the updates from the fire department. And then environmental, actually, we will be meeting here tomorrow night at 7, but we did have a very successful volunteer weekend this past weekend despite the rain. There were 25 adults and 8 children donated approximately 90 hours of work at the J. Scott Community Garden and the Rain Garden down at Carol Pager Park. Also, if you'd like to apply for a bed at the community garden, those applications, we're still taking them till April 15th, and I know that it was also in the latest eConnect there. Also then, coming up at the end of April, on the 25th to the 27th, we have our townwide swap. Cleanup will be Saturday, April 26th at 9 a.m., and the Green Fair will be from 11 to 2. Those meeting places will be on Division Street all on that Saturday, the 26th. There'll be over 25 different environmental groups and organizations, which will have activities and booths for people to come and explore. As I said, we'll be meeting here tomorrow night at 7, and you can always follow us on Instagram and Facebook. That's it.
Awesome. Busy.
Busy.
Good stuff. Teresa.
Thank you. So this week, the Somerville Public Library is hosting Week of the Young Child. So tomorrow, Tuesday the 8th at noon, Tactile Tuesday, which is a hands-on sensory experience, is going to take place. Wednesday the 9th at noon, Working Together Wednesday, which is experiencing giant versions of classic games like Jenga and Connect 4, plus traditional board games. Thursday the 10th at noon, Artsy Thursday, will guide your child in a colorful painting session. So those are some really fun things happening at the public library this week for the week of the young child. And the Municipal Alliance and Youth Services Commission will be meeting this Thursday at 6 p.m. virtually. And then the Public Safety Committee will be meeting next Thursday, the 17th, at 6 p.m. Right here at the Civic Center. And as always, the public is welcome to attend.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Randy?
Thank you, Mayor. Please come out and support the Somerville PBA fundraiser on April 26th at Yestercades on Division Street, 10 a.m. until closing. All proceeds will go to outfit a planned museum at the Emergency Service Complex for our police department. Admission will be $8.75 an hour or $20 for an all-day pass. We hope to see you there. Secondary, please tune in to the newly created Briefing Room podcast, hosted by Officer Nikki and Detective Brian Anthony. Get an inside look at law enforcement, community happenings, and police stories and updates around town. The goal is to humanize the badge and build better connections with our community, with the community they serve, which is here in Somerville. You can listen at Briefing Room at somervillepd.org. And please tune in.
Great. All right, thank you. Roger?
I have nothing this evening.
Okay. Just a couple of quick things. This past Saturday, we had Somerville Baseball grand opening. It was opening day. It was a little damp, a little cold, a little windy, but otherwise it was a great day. Tons and tons of kids. Andrew was out there with his son, and it really was a great event. The kids are so excited to start the season, and I don't know if they're more excited about baseball or the snacks at the shack. So both are equally important. So. And then just a point of information, we got notification from Somerset County, and the county has initiated a new program. It's called the County Community Outreach Program. And beginning April 15th, they're going to have people going door to door to inform them of various social services that the county has available. So items like mental health awareness, senior programs, food programs, and addiction awareness programs. So if you see folks, they will be very well marked. They will be in reflective gear, reflective vests with the Somerset County brand and badges. And they'll have armfuls of information and literature. And so if you see them out there, they're there to help. So they're there to just spread information door to door. So. At this point, I will ask for a motion to open the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call?
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Deney,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, meeting is open to the public. Please state your name and address for the record, and please address your comments to me. Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Deney,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, ordinances for introduction. Ordinance number 2760 is amending Chapter 166-42, Schedule 1, entitled No Parking, to allow for parking on Central Avenue on the south side of the street. Fairly self-explanatory. Any comment from the public on 2760? No? Motion for introduction.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
It doesn't, just to clarify, it says no parking now, and now we're going to allow parking. That's what we're doing here. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
That's correct. Apparently, I guess there was a DMV that existed in that area back in the day. They've left a long time ago.
Right.
Apparently, the signs, well, maybe some of the signs are still remaining, but the regulation's still in place.
Okay.
So they've allowed parking there. We're just trying to clean up the code itself.
Got it.
And the reality is, I think a lot of people are parking
They
along
parked there
there.
already.
They parked
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Well, there's really nowhere else to park.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they really don't have a choice. Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Deney,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
2761 is amending Article 2, Chapter 102, Section 4, Section P, entitled Definitions and Word Usage. definition would be adding the term portable on-demand storage or temporary storage units to the land use code. Kevin, you want to give us an overview on this?
Sure. Pods, as you know, are those portable on-demand structures that they get put up with storage. This particular ordinance, so the planning board many years ago had dealt with this and created an ordinance that regulates the use of pods on properties. This particular ordinance just defines what a pod is on that land use code. The next ordinance, which I'll clearly explain now as well, is while we have regulations on people's property, there's no regulations for the street. So what this does is we have received requests, and we've also seen them pop up where pods are in the street and people want to know whose pod is it. And there's been variations. There's been situations where people are moving into town, but the people living there haven't moved out yet, so they put a pod on the street. And they usually call Borough Hall and say, can I do this? And we really have no regulation on it in the street. So we are creating a regulation similar to what we do with dumpsters, the same thing with the dumpsters. Yes, we'd like the first course of action is put it on your driveway, but if you can't, then we have regulations. And there's a small fee attached to it to make sure they come in and register it. And then there's a limitation on how long it could be there. And that's what these two ordinances really do.
Good. All right.
How long can they be there?
So the first permit would pay up to 10 days. And then when I say the first permit, I believe it's $25. That would allow 10 days. If you need more than that, then there needs to be a conversation with the municipality explaining why you may not be able to get it off the street.
I'm sorry, we're getting some kind of strange noise.
So there's a frequency that's interfering with our microphones right now, and that's where that is coming from.
Yeah, I thought it was
Really?
a phone buzzing.
Yeah, I keep on checking when it's not.
I don't know, can we turn off, I guess,
Yeah.
the wireless maybe? Maybe that's what it is?
All right, well, you know what, we'll keep
going.
going.
If you could
It's
bear
not-
with it, if not.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a 10-day permit. If you need it more than 10 days, you would have to come back to the borough and explain why, and if it's reasonable, we could extend that. We're preventing, listen, we're trying to provide better customer service, but we're also preventing someone from putting a pod in the street and have it sit there all semester, or a year, right? So there is a process, but if there's a relocation, a closing that's gonna be taking place, a student returning back from a university, we'll work with them, but it's a 10-day permit with the ability to get that further extended.
so it's not that you can't do it, it's that there's a time frame in which to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, do we have a motion for introduction? Oh, you know what, I'm sorry, before that, any public comment on 2761? Okay, hearing none, motion for introduction.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Dene,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
And 2762 is exactly what Kevin just said, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Public comment on 2762. Hearing none, ask for a motion for introduction.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, one question. Unlike, say, Davenport, where they don't have driveways and whatnot, are those people going to be subject to the same fees as anybody else for putting it in a public area? I mean, there are parts of town where they don't have the option to keep it on their property, right? And in that case, is there an exemption from that for?
There's actually, if in the draft ordinance, there are qualifiers, so PD may actually even have to come out and
Right.
take a look at it to make sure that
Safe.
it's safe, yeah.
But once we determine it's safe, if they have nowhere else to put it but there, are we still going to charge them, is my question.
The fee?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fee's for 10 days. Yeah, the fee, it's $25 for the 10 days. It's again, registration purposes and so forth. And then if that was to be extended, it's $5 a day after that. But yeah, the fee would apply. Are you suggesting it shouldn't apply?
I'm suggesting for those that have no other option, having a fee, like I have an option of putting it in my driveway and moving cars around and whatnot. But if somebody doesn't have a driveway on which to put it, say they're on Grove, or, they're somewhere else where they just don't have the driveway to physically place the thing, and it's safe to put it out front, charging them a fee seems like, hey, we know you don't have the property, but now we're going to penalize you for not having the property for it. So $25 isn't a lot. $5 a day isn't a lot. I recognize all of that. But just the idea of they have nowhere else to go. So
But this does allow for it to be on the street, right?
Well,
That-
yes,
That,
at
that
the
ordinance
fee,
is
yeah.
for the street. You could already put it on your property under land use, but this is strictly on the street. And it does, the fee does apply to everyone. I mean, I will tell you, many municipalities don't allow pods on the street, right? So this is more of a convenience in a short time arrangement.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, because,
Thanks
I
for
mean,
clarifying.
technically, it'd be very, if we had to move it, it would be very difficult for us to move, opposed to a dumpster, which we could pull.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if the council feels there should be an adjustment on fees for, I mean, the reality is, we want people to put on their property,
Yes.
right? And I guess, the ordinance was drafted based on the fact that people are just putting them on the street.
Right.
And I understand, a fee is always, a fee is fee regardless of what it is, but it does get people to comply, with it. But if there's if the board wants to change it, that's, we make that adjustment at the public hearing, I guess, or prior to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, we have a fee for dumpsters, so it was kind of mirrored,
Gotcha. Understood.
that's how we came up with the numbers.
Yep, makes sense. Thank you for clarifying.
Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Dene,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, ordinances for public hearing and adoption. Ordinance number 2758 is amending Chapter 166-44, Schedule 3, no stopping or standing to remove parking spaces on the north side of West High Street, easterly of Davenport Street. We covered this at the last meeting. These will take away, I think there's 3 parking spaces between the middle school entrance, driveway entrance on West High Street and Davenport Street to increase visibility because that is, I think, the worst corner for accidents in Somerville. So Teresa brought this to the table from the Safety Committee.
Yeah.
And I think everybody agrees on this one. So I'll ask for a motion to open the public hearing on 2758.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Dene,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, public hearing on 2758 is now open. Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Dene,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay,
Can I make a comment now?
not yet.
Okay.
So now I will ask for a motion for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Yes.
Yes. While we were doing this, being a parent who picks up their kid from this exact location weekly, while this will help, I think we're going to need some support from the school itself because the line, when picking up anyone, it backs out onto High and down the block where you can't see anyway. You get that, and then you get parents, guardians picking up their children, parking in the prohibs. So are we giving them more prohibs to park in?
Yeah, and I think part of that solution is once this hits the books, we can ask PD to help monitor and perhaps have an officer out there at school closing, drop off and pickup time, and just have an officer maybe in that area, in that vicinity, and if somebody does pull up, just ask them to kind of move along and maybe go around the block, just so they don't. And it's encouragement. It's education and encouragement for compliance to try to help that. So, yeah, I agree. And maybe even, once this is, again, on the books, maybe the school can send something out as well. Who's liaison to the Board of Ed? All right, there we go. Yeah, let's bring that up to your counterpart. And we'll just ask them to send something out in the middle school. Yeah. Good,
It's very dangerous getting out of there
yeah,
after school.
yeah.
Not so much
Yep.
in the beginning, but definitely. after.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Dene,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, 2759 is amending Chapter 102-43, Section C of the Borough Land Use Code entitled Filing of Applications, Reducing the Necessary Time to Review Applications Due to Modern Technology. This is taking what various applications for the planning board and zoning board, taking it from 28 days, which was established, I think, in the early 1900s, and bringing it down to 21 days. There was discussion at the planning board as to whether to, maybe even shorten that to 14 days. And all felt that, 21 was a good, comfortable amount of time. It allowed people the opportunity to, if they wanted to go to Borough Hall and obtain the documents. It just allowed additional review time. It could be done in 14, but everybody was more comfortable with 21. But all felt that 28 was just way, it was onerous. I'll ask for a motion to open up the public hearing on 2759.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Denny.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, public hearing is open on 2759. Hearing none, we'll close, I'll ask for a motion to close 2759.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Denny.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, I'll ask for a motion for adoption on 2759.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Denny.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, consent resolutions, any to be pulled off for further discussion?
The county contract number,
25-0.
102,
That was
yes,
recycling,
yes.
okay. All right, 095, awarding a contract to Sharp Electronics for copiers and printers under the NASPO Value Point contract, effective 10 days following the publication. 96 is approving the hiring of lifeguards for 25 pool season. 97, approving Somerset County Library System of New Jersey to use the lawn at Borough Hall on May 3rd for Community Resource Fair. 98 is approving Bridgeville Ice Cream Truck as a renewal vendor for 6 months. 99, authorizing a refund of $453.45 to Jose D. Fenco and Jerusa Fenco. Application as noted, address as 64 Mercer Street, from the Board of Adjustment escrow account. 100, rejecting all bids for pool management operations. 101, authorizing a refund of $14,336.55 to Pulte Homes Project at Somerville Station for escrow balance from the escrow account. 103 is awarding a contract to A.S. Hunter Municipal Services in the amount of $34,950 for repair work to Claude Walk Pool. 104 is authorizing the CFO to open an engineering inspection trust fund account at Provident Bank and authorizing the CFO and administrator to execute all the required bank documents. 105 is refunding $8,604.99 from escrow accounts related to the project located at Block 50, Lots 3, 13, and 14 for the project known as 40 Haynes redevelopment. 106 is support from the local governing body authorizing the Sustainable Jersey grant funded by PSE&G. Do we have a motion?
So moved?
Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Denny.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, 102 is authorizing an agreement between the Borough of Somerville and the County of Somerset for certified recycling professional to sign annual recycling tonnage report. Do we have a motion?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion.
Just a question, Kevin, I know that, I thought Mark was taking classes to get certified to do this, is that correct? Did that ever happen?
No, this wouldn't be to do this. This is the agreement for the county to pick up recycling.
Oh.
So what he's doing is he's studying as to be the certified recycling coordinator, which would allow the municipality does have to fill that role, but that would allow us to apply for the tonnage grants and so forth, and as well be educated in the recycling process. But that's what he's studying. But this is actually for the pickup.
Got you, thank you.
Okay, further discussion. Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, bills and vouchers. Mr. Vroom.
I make a motion to pay bills and vouchers in the amount of $1,550,000, $1,550,767.97.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Andrew Conti,
Yes.
Glenn Dene,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, and sticking with the same, Mr. Vroom, I will ask for a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned.